I am Pauline Y. Campbell, and I have been a member here at Pilgrim all my life. Very few people had cars. They did walking. The community was real small at that time around Pilgrim here. So people usually walked. In fact, if anyone, when I was growing up as a young child, maybe about 5 or 6 members had cars, and we considered them rich. There were streetcars, but people walked mostly. That was around 1918, and they came here because they were looking for a better way of life. And the packing houses were thriving at that time, so they were looking for jobs to work in the packing house for themselves and for their children. What did they bring with them?
Yeah.
Their religion. They were very strong Christians. It's my understanding that they lived in the south part of Omaha, most of the African American community when they arrived here. I'm sure they came in stages. I don't think they all came at once, but they knew each other, and so they started. It was sort of like a network. When they came to Omaha, they got together. The people knew each other from Bruton and Pensacola, and they came, and because they were strongly religious, they wanted to worship together. So at first they went to Zion Baptist Church. The majority of them, about 23 of them, joined Zion Baptist Church at that time, and they worshiped there in the mornings, and then they had Sunday school in the afternoon, and it was not really to their making that they wanted to go that direction. So that one of the members, Mr. William Washington, came up with a solution that they secure a building where they could all worship together, and they purchased a storefront on 24th somewhere down here. And they worshiped there for a while until a visiting preacher from Michigan came to Omaha for a revival. And they asked him when he came back through Omaha if he would consider them serving as pastor for them in a church. And he went back to Detroit and then came back. And they had a series of meetings, and he decided to become their pastor. And so Pilgrim Rest, that was the beginning name, was organized, and they purchased a building on 26th and Franklin, and they worshiped there for 2 years. And then after 2 years, I think it was the first Sunday in September, they marched from 26th and Franklin down to 25th and Hamilton Street. And this church was purchased from Calvary Baptist Church. That was back in 1918 that it all began. Did I experience any racism? Well, I'm sure that everyone who grew up in most of our cities experienced racism. It was just a part of life. Oh, Omaha's grown, and we're changing. I think every year has been a change for Omaha. We're growing, and there are more opportunities for adults and for young people in the community, in our churches. We have a state convention that does holds the community together, so we're growing as a body every day.